It's been a quarter of a century since Ghostface first appeared, and to celebrate, he's making a return. And he's not alone. Scream 5 features some familiar faces and might include a few surprises, with characters rising from the dead. But have you ever wondered what the cast has been up to after all this time? We did, so we got some answers. David Arquette as Dewy Riley. Scream was a slasher film for fans, but for David Arquette, it was a romance, because it introduced him to Courtney Cox. Sadly, their relationship didn't last as long as the film's popularity, as they divorced after a decade. Still, it can't have been all bad. David is so excited to be back in Ghostface's neighborhood that he's even willing to work with his ex. Then again, as he explained to People, if you're co-parenting a teenage daughter, co-starring is a breeze in comparison. But it's not just his daughter that's kept him occupied. Since he first donned that sheriff costume, David's been pretty busy. For starters, he was moonlighting while filming Scream 5 with Snoop Dogg in Battle of the Bones. And no, it isn't another horror fest, it's a comedy about dominoes. Now that's unexpected. The last few years haven't been easy for David, and he's trying damn hard to change that. Last year, the actor released a documentary called You Cannot Kill David Arquette. It's a film about a pretty wild life. As David told Oprah, as a young actor, he drank and smoked to deal with his anxiety. It's a habit that landed him in rehab a few times and cost him a lot of work. However, there was another reason for his addiction. David was tired of criticism.
I'd been beating myself up in my life for a long time.
He explained, 18 years ago, I won a WCW World Heavyweight belt. Ever since, people have been criticizing me. I wanted to prove myself. I was sick of being bullied and for people thinking I'm just some punk from Hollywood. 3 years ago, he decided to make a return to his first career, wrestling. After months of intensive training, he thought he was ready. He was wrong. Firstly, a heart attack a few years back made training so much harder. And then when he was finally ready for a death match, he literally nearly died. He was hit in the neck, and it sent him to the operating room of the nearest hospital. His new wife, Christina McLarty, and their 2 kids were not impressed. Since then, David has been sober and hasn't gone back into the ring.
I try to keep, the addict inside me in check, and also the sort of self-critical voice in check. And
now he's saving any fighting for the screen, so maybe Ghostface will meet his match this time around. Then again, with Sidney Prescott making a return, we don't need to worry. Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott. As the one to officially unmask Ghostface, Neve is horror film royalty. That's exactly why she was dead set against starring in another horror film after the Scream franchise. She did not want to get typecast. The Canadian ballerina turned actress did a few different projects, including starring in and producing The Company, about a dancer at Joffrey Ballet Company in Chicago. This was a passion project, taking 7 years to make before its 2003 release. And then, just when she should have been celebrating, Neve did the unexpected. She left Hollywood. That's right. The actress traded in Tinseltown for London because LA didn't suit her.
In my 20s, it all hit so fast and so big that it was a little overwhelming.
But not in the UK. Neve made her West End debut in 2006 and lent her name to several independent films before Hollywood lured her back. Or, more realistically, they lured Sidney Prescott back because she returned to the US for Scream 4 in 2011. But that's not all she found in America. In 2012, she met fellow actor J.J. Fields, 2 years after her divorce from John Light. They welcomed their son, Caspian, that year, and adopted a second son 4 years later. At the same time, her career was booming because Neve appeared everywhere, from Grey's Anatomy to House of Cards, and starring alongside The Rock in Skyscraper. She was very much in demand. So much so that she had to start turning down a bunch of roles. As Neve told Refinery29, she said no to 11 parts in just 1 year. So why was she being so selective? Family. The actress fits all her jobs around her boys' schedules. So I guess we need to thank them for Scream 5. Neve was initially hesitant to rejoin the cast, but when she saw the script, the actress was blown away and said yes immediately. Now we just need to wait to see what exactly it was that made Sidney Prescott so keen to be near Ghostface again. Sigh, at least it's not long now. Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers. Courtney's character was one of the few cast members to make it to the end of the fourth film alive. Despite this, the actress is best known for playing Monica on Friends. After Friends, the actress showed her grittier side when she headed up Cougar Town, earning rave reviews and her first Golden Globe nomination. It was also her first attempt at producing, as the show was created through her production company. But this lady has another secret talent which many fans don't know about. Courtney Cox is a talented real estate mogul. Since the 1980s, she's been flipping houses, buying rundown properties and renovating them before selling for a nice profit. And she manages to do all this with company.
We were engaged to be married, but now we're just together and...
But you broke off your engagement?
We did.
Why? But you're still together.
Yeah, I don't find that strange.
His name is Johnny McDade, and yes, he's the guy from Snow Patrol. They met in 2013 through a mutual friend and matchmaker, Ed Sheeran. Matthew Lillard as Stu Maker. Who would have thought that Tatum's dumbass boyfriend could be one half of a killer? We may not have predicted Stu's alter ego, but that unpredictability is exactly what launched Matthew Lillard's career in the early noughties. After a bunch of teen comedies and rom-coms, Matthew found fame and an incredibly loyal fan base as Shaggy, the sidekick to Scooby-Doo. This included movies, series, games, and even a few ads. But there's more to Matthew Lillard than being Shaggy, even though that's what his critics say. The actor explained, "If it wasn't for Scooby-Doo, I wouldn't be acting. Scooby-Doo saved my bacon." However, he has branched out. Matthew starred in a few minor roles and even tried his hand at directing in 2012 with Fat Kid Rules the World. But his real talent lies in television, including The Good Wife, Twin Peaks, and Good Girls. He's also focusing on his family, which includes 3 daughters with his wife of 2 decades, Heather Helm. Since becoming a father, this guy's interests have shifted. Now, instead of wanting to star in a blockbuster, Matthew would rather grow as an artist, which is why he's been vocal about rejoining Scream, even though his character was killed. But was he? Matthew has an interesting answer. This actor does not believe that Stu is actually dead and gone. Instead, he reckons Stu and Billy are tucked away somewhere.
He feels he didn't die. I didn't, dude. I will throw a TV on my face right now to prove it.
He's not the only one hoping for that. Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis. Let's be honest, Skeet was a pretty bad boyfriend. I mean, he did kill his booze friends and mother, and there's just no recovering from that. In the end, he had to go. But thankfully, the actor behind the role had better luck. First, he took a break from Hollywood to focus on raising his twins with his first wife, Georgina Cates. Sadly, he and Georgina parted ways in 2005, and since then, the actor's love life and career have seen a few changes. While he was playing Jake on Jericho and busy on Law & Order LA, he met Amelia Jackson Gray and was smitten. After tying the knot in 2012, the couple broke up 3 years later, but Skeet was still determined to find love. But it was also short-lived, just 1 year with Rose Costa. Since then, he's changed his focus to his career, because he's tied up with projects like Riverdale. Prepare to see Skeet as you've never seen him before soon, as he'll be starring in Finch alongside Tom Hanks. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see him rise from the dead in Scream 5. We can hope, right? Sure, his fate may be undecided, but that's not the case for these next ladies. Rose McGowan as Tatum Riley. If Tatum hadn't been dating one half of a serial killer duo, would she have survived longer? That's tough to answer, but this actress doesn't really care either way. Since Scream, Rose has gone on to star in a number of projects, including Charmed and Jawbreaker, but her real fame has come from her off-screen work. The actress was vital to the Me Too movement after she spilled the tea on Harvey Weinstein's behavior. Since sharing her story with fans and police, the actress has supported women's rights. In fact, she's convinced that her activism has blacklisted her in Hollywood, and in response, she moved to Mexico with no plans to return to LA. But the acting gigs in Mexico are hard to come by, which is why Rose is turning her attention to new pursuits, like non-fungible tokens, podcasts, and directing. Now that she's gotten her Mexican citizenship, let's hold thumbs we see more of this actress. Thankfully, that's not a problem for her former co-star. Drew Barrymore as Casey Becker. She may have been the first to go, but did you know that we could have seen more of Drew because she was initially offered the role of Sydney? Ah well. This actress has more than made up for it since then. After Scream, she starred in The Wedding Singer, before creating her own production company called Wildflower. This is the same company that brought us cult hits like Never Been Kissed and Charlie's Angels. Then came Whip It, a bunch more roles, a talk show, a range of wines, a makeup line, and a second memoir. Wow, take a breath. Her personal life hasn't been any quieter. On the set of Charlie's Angels, the actress met her second husband, Tom Green. Although the marriage lasted just 5 months, she was also engaged to the Stokes drummer, Fabio, before meeting and marrying the father of her 2 daughters, Will Koppelman. Sadly, they divorced in 2016, but that's offered Drew's fans a silver lining. Since then, she's put all her attention into her new job, so we can expect more great things. For more info about the cast of your favorite shows, check out our other videos. And until next time, stay awesome.